Us cruisers are finally getting a glimpse of what the new health and safety protocols are going to look like when sailing on cruise ships. 2 weeks ago, Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line was the first to unveil its detailed plan to resume cruising, with a comprehensive list of the new procedures and policies it will be putting in place on its 2 ships. Well, this past week, one of the Princess and I's favorite cruise line, Norwegian Cruise Line, announced its new health and safety protocols. If you missed all the details, you're in luck. I'm DB from EatSleepCruise.com, and in this video, we detail NCL's announcement and go over all of the new procedures that the cruise line plans to put in place to examine what cruising will really look like when it resumes. As part of Norwegian Cruise Line's announcement, it updated its peace of mind policy to include all cruises through November 30th of 2020. Cruisers now have the ability to book a cruise knowing they have the flexibility to cancel up to 48 hours prior to the sail date for any reason and receive a future cruise credit. In addition to flexible booking, Norwegian announced its Sail Safe Health and Safety protocols to ensure the health and safety of all guests once cruising resumes. While NCL's announcement might not be as detailed as the plan from Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line, Norwegian Cruise Line did indicate several measures that they will be putting in place starting August 1st as its anticipated return to service date. First and foremost, Norwegian Cruise Line will limit the passenger capacity on board ships. Though no specific guidelines were given as to how much this capacity would be reduced. However, we can speculate that the ships probably won't be sailing at much more than 50% capacity. Although Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line did indicate that they will be sailing at 60% capacity when they resume sailing at the end of July. NCL also did not specify any phased return to service plans like Carnival Cruise Line recently did. Again, if we look to other plans out there, it's pretty safe to assume Norwegian Cruise Line will not have all its ships sailing once cruising finally starts up. In particular, it's very unlikely that cruises from Alaska will be occurring, and most likely Norwegian Cruise Line will focus on sailings out of Florida, sailing a handful of ships to its private islands as well as the Bahamas. For embarkation, guests will complete an online check-in and will board the ship in a staggered embarkation schedule to reduce crowds at the terminal. Upon arriving to the terminal, guests will be required to complete a temperature check and a health declaration. Terminals will be sanitized before and after each embarkation. All ships will be disinfected prior to every voyage in accordance with the company's protocols, which are developed in partnership with the CDC's Vessel Sanitation program. In addition to stringent sanitation in the terminals, guests should be comforted to know that Norwegian Cruise Line will also have strict protocols in place for guest accommodations in common areas on board the ship. These areas will be sanitized at an increased frequency, including the use of electrostatic spray technology and fogging with natural and safe disinfectant. Similar to other detailed plans, there will also be continuous cleaning of high-traffic touchpoints. Further, buffets and beverage stations will now be full service with staff available to serve guests. Guests will be subjected to enhanced screening protocols both prior to boarding the ship as well as throughout the cruise to help identify potential health issues. Touchless temperature checks will occur prior to embarkation, upon returning to the ship from a port of call, prior to all meals and dining venues, prior to all activities in public venues, and prior to disembarkation. While we understand the need for safety, this does sound a bit excessive and difficult to implement. All guests will be strongly encouraged to engage in frequent hand washing, including when entering food and beverage venues. If you're like us, you'll probably be glad to hear the washy-washy once again once you're cruising. Hand sanitizer will be readily available throughout the ship as well. At this time, there has been no mention of whether guests will be required to wear a mask. It remains to be seen whether a mask will actually not be required, or if the cruise lines are purposely delaying this announcement, as they know it'll be a deal breaker for many. Comparatively, we do know that amusement parks like Universal Studios and Walt Disney World in Florida are requiring masks at least temporarily. Like guests, crew will be subjected to enhanced health screenings. This includes temperature checks multiple times per day, as well as rigid sanitation protocols. The pre-employment medical examination process will also be enhanced to screen for a variety of infectious diseases. Also of note, Norwegian Cruise Line has not stated whether crew will be required to wear a mask and/or other PPE during a cruise. In addition to reduced sailing capacity and a staggered embarkation, Norwegian Cruise Line plans to promote responsible social distancing throughout the ship. The cruise line claims that all activities will still be available, but might be subjected to modifications and reduced capacity. However, Norwegian Cruise Line has not provided any specific capacity limits at this time. It's still not clear how Norwegian Cruise Line will handle social distancing at venues like the theater, dining rooms, casinos, shops, or other recreational spaces. Also, they have made no mention yet of how they're going to handle social distancing with shore excursions. With the outbreaks that occurred on ships earlier this year, air circulation on cruise ships has been a point of contention. In NCL's new Sail Safe plan, the cruise line revealed that it will install medical-grade air filters. These air filters remove 99.95% of airborne pathogens and will be installed across the entire fleet. Onboard medical centers will be fully equipped with the latest testing kits and medical supplies, including on-site rapid diagnostic testing for COVID-19. There'll be increased medical staff on board each ship as well. Each ship will also have a dedicated isolation ward should the need arise. Further, Norwegian Cruise Line will introduce a new position of Public Health Officer. This staff member will be responsible for the oversight of all sanitation and outbreak prevention initiatives. This individual will monitor the day-to-day cleanliness of all public areas and accommodations to ensure compliance with the CDC's Vessel Sanitation Program. Upon return to service, NCL will be partnering with local destinations and tour operators to ensure health and safety protocols will extend to the shoreside experience as well. The cruise line states it will only visit safe, open ports of call, which may cause changes to itineraries. And there you have it. That is our complete breakdown of the brand new health and safety measures being implemented by Norwegian Cruise Line. But of course, we'd love to hear from you. Let us know in the comment section below if you think Norwegian Cruise Line's plan is feasible and if you would sail with the cruise line given these changes. I'm DB from eatsleepcruise.com, and if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel or you've been lurking around for a while and haven't done so, what are you waiting for? Make sure to subscribe down below and to click the notification icon. That way you get updated each week when we put out brand new cruise and travel videos. You can also say hi to us all over social media at Eat Sleep Cruise, and thanks again for watching.